Okay, now let's look at how to select cells and ranges. We already know we can click and drag here. We already know that we can type in the name box, a range. Let's type in A2, and you don't have to capitalize it. Type in the colon and type in A6 and press enter. And that selects that range. We can also select cells that aren't adjacent to one another. Let's select row 2 by clicking on the row heading. Hold down Control and select row 4, and then hold down Control and select row 6. And you see we've selected 3 different rows, and they're not right next to each other, so you can hold down Control and do that. And now we can go to the Home tab, and we can set a fill color for all of those and have alternating fill colors for our information. You can also select a range if we want to select the range here, and hold down the Shift key. So click in the first cell, hold down the Shift key, and click in the last cell, and that selects the range. And if I keep holding Shift and I select over here, that extends the range that I've selected. So first cell, hold down Shift key, click in the last cell in the range, and that will select the cell for you. We can also select a range by clicking in a cell, holding down Shift, and choosing the arrow keys. That will allow us to select or unselect cells by holding down the Shift and using the arrow keys. Okay, I'm just using my arrow keys, and you see it's selecting that data. Okay, now, many times when you are working in Excel, you may see these a lot of students have called them hashtags, but they're pound signs. And if you ever at any time see these pound signs, that means your column width is too narrow, and all you need to do to fix that is to double click to auto fit that column, or adjust your column width using the click and drag method, but most of the time the double click will be just fine in order to see your information and not see those pound signs. Column width and row height can also be changed. If I want a specific column width, click anywhere in the column. Let's click anywhere in this column. Go to the Format and choose column width. Right now it's at 9.43. If I want to make it wider, I can type in 11. Make it specifically 11 pixels wide. Notice, or 11 points wide. Notice when you click on the column heading border, you get a screen tip that shows you the width, and you can also use that to help you get a particular width. Now that's a little tricky if you're wanting a specific width. It's a lot easier to just go and type in, go into the column width and type it in. Same thing for row heights. If we want to adjust the height of row 1, we can go to Format, Row Height. Right now it's at 102 points. Let's change it to 72 points. Click OK. And when we do that, notice some of our information is cut off. So, specifically in cell H1, this right here, we've lost some of our data. So what we can do is we can tell it to wrap the text in the cell. The Wrap Text button is on the Home tab in the Alignment group. And Wrap Text kind of works like that line break did when we hit Alt-Enter earlier. but it makes that text wrap around in the cell, and it automatically put it on 2 lines for us. This cell down here, we merged it, and we can merge it again. So that it's merged all the way across the table of information there, or the range of information. Again, if we do merge and center, well, that took the merge off if it's already applied. If we click that button again, it takes the merge off, and then select all that information. Merge and center applies center alignment. If we just did merge across, that would have done left alignment. So let's turn off the merge and center. Okay, you see it's turned off. Now let's click on the merge across, and you see that that doesn't center align it. All right. Let's save this again, and I'm going to work a little more with you with the paste special options. Go to Sheet tab 2, and let's just type in some information. Okay, and let's just, for the sake of it, let's review inserting cells. Click on cell A1, right click, choose insert, and let's shift cells down. And we can type in 22 there. Let's do the same thing here. Right click, insert, shift cells down. We've got 88. Type that in. We can also insert an entire row by right clicking on the row heading and choosing insert. And this works just like, this works the same way for column headings. Okay. Now let's format this as currency. Okay. And now let's copy this information. If you have anything on your clipboard, well, first, if you don't have your clipboard showing, show your clipboard by going to the Home tab and clicking the Clipboard dialog box launcher. And then if you have anything on it, click the Clear All button. And we're going to select this range, A1 through A9. And we're going to right click, and we're going to copy and place it on the clipboard. Now, to paste a command, to paste a range, you really only need to be in the first cell. But I tell you what, before we get started here, let's type some information in here. Okay, so we've got some numbers here. Also, copy this information to the clipboard. Okay, now to paste to a range, you really only need to be in the first cell of the range, because when you click to paste, it's going to overwrite whatever's in that cell, and it will paste to that cell. The only time this is different is if you have merged cells that you're copying or pasting. So to paste to this range here and overwrite the information that's already there, just click on the information in the clipboard and it pastes it. Okay, now let's go paste this information. Okay. We can also copy this information, and I'll tell you what, let's add some more formatting here. Let's format a fill color on this cell, and let's format a different font color for that cell so you can see what's going on here. Now, I can copy this information. Let's copy it. And I'm going to paste special. I'm going to click right here, and this time I don't want to overwrite that data. I instead want to only copy the formats. So click the Paste button drop down arrow. Go to the other paste options and see where it says formatting. Click on that. And now what was plain text is now has the fill color and the font color applied to it, and it also has the currency number format applied to it. Another paste option that might be very helpful is to go to the Paste Special, and right here you see where you can transpose. So what's normally down can be pasted across a row, and that is a nice paste option to have. Whenever you paste, you do get the Paste Options button, and you are allowed to choose these options as well in the Paste Options button. So if I went up here and I just pressed Control V, and I really wanted it to paste some other way, like maybe I only want it to paste the numbers, the values. Then once I've pasted it, I can go in and apply these paste special options as well. So I'm going to click Paste Values, and you see that it's back to just the numbers. Okay, let's save this now. And that's just an extra little look at Paste Special. Alright, go back to our Fitness Info tab, and let's click on cell A1. And let's bold and italicize our heading here. And let's change the font. Let's go into the font dialog box and let's make a lot of changes, or several changes. Let's change it to a different font. Batang if you have it. If not, choose one. Berlin Sans is another one you could use. And let's change it to 12 point. Actually, yours is probably already 12 point because you set your defaults. Let's change it to 10 point. And let's change the color to a dark navy blue type color. And click OK. So we have formatted that text. Now we can use the Format Painter. Well, let's also change the fill color. Let's go to more colors before we go anywhere. Let's see here. There's our standard colors and there's our custom. Let's go ahead and go to standard, and I'm going to choose a green color, that color green, and click OK. And now I'm going to use my Format Painter. If I click it once, I can apply the formatting once. If I double click it, I can apply the formatting over and over, and I can click and drag across a range to apply that formatting. Escape or click the Format Painter button again to get out of Format Painter. Now, that messed this row up when I did that, so I need to go back and apply my wrap text. And let's save our document. Okay, now let's work with a hyperlink within our data. And, well, you know something I've just noticed here? This cell that we merged, when I unmerged it and merged it again, my border went away. So let's click on this cell. Let's go to the Borders button and click All Borders. And there we go. That is that has our borders back on it now. Now let's click on cell A9 and let's type this information in. Okay, once you get this information entered in, press the enter key. And we're going to click on this cell now. Let's click and drag through this cell. Go to the Home tab. Let's merge and center. Let's add a fill color. And let's add a border, a thick box border. Okay. And now click on that cell. And let's go to Insert and let's choose Hyperlink. Now, we have options in here. And we can hyperlink to an existing file or web page. We can hyperlink to a place in this document. We can create a new document and hyperlink to it. Or we can hyperlink to an email address. Today we're going to do an existing file or web page. And the text to display, we're going to leave it as for tips on a heart healthy diet. And the address is right here. This is what you need to type in. Make sure you use the slashes that are beside the shift key when you're typing the slashes. And this has to be typed perfectly or your hyperlink will not work. Once you get the address typed in, click on the screen tip button and you can add screen tip text. Add this screen tip in and then click OK. And then click OK again. And notice that it now, when you mouse over it, your pointer changes. You see your screen tip that you put in, WebMD Heart Healthy Diet Tips. And you are now able to click now. Okay, and then once you've put the hyperlink in, you should be able to click on it. If it says hold control and click to activate it, then you would hold the control key. And then you click on it. And if you keyed the URL in correctly, it should open the web page. Alrighty. Close the browser and you go back to your document. Now, look here. I see a few things that need fixing. One, I need to always have consistency in my data that I've typed. See how this pounds gained or lost does not have a period. This one does and this one does not. So let's put a period on all of those. Click or make sure you're in cell E1. You can type it in the name box and press enter. And then we're going to edit right here. Pounds gained or lost. Put a period there. And right over here in cell H1, you can double click it also and edit it right there in the cell. And press enter. Okay, so that's got some consistency. We've got some information kind of cut off there. So our option is either to wrap text or to make the row a little taller. To make a row taller, you can also click and drag the bottom row border. And let's make it just a tad bit taller. And that looks like now all of our information is showing and isn't cut off. Okay, now height in inches. This column looks to be a little big. Let's double click to auto fit that. And I tell you what, let's also show this. If we want to adjust the width of several columns at once, We can select all of the columns by clicking on the heading, and really I need to make sure my cursor is that little black arrow pointing down. Click and drag across, and I can select multiple columns at once. I can go to the Home tab. I can go to the Format, Column Width, and let's format them all to be 12. And click OK. We may need to adjust that here in a minute. 12, yeah, 12 is a little small. I mean, a little large. So we can readjust by clicking and dragging across. And that made all of them the same width. If we have a column that we really don't need to show, like maybe we don't want to post, we want to post information, but we only want to post the pounds gained or lost, and we want to post the bonus maybe. We can select these columns and choose to hide them. And notice now it's showing A, then E. And we could also show hide F and G there. Hide. And then we would just show pounds gained or lost and the money values attached to those. Now notice when we hide here, it's hiding part of our merged cell there too. Unless we merged all the way across. Let's see here what that does for us if we merged all the way across there. Would it looks like that would still show our data there. Oh gracious, I accidentally clicked that cell. Alright, click undo there though, because I don't want to merge that all the way across. Alright, so then I could set my print area. Select that information if I wanted to print this, and I wouldn't need to print the link necessarily. Go to page layout, print area, set print area. Go to our print preview, and notice it's only printing our columns that are showing. And you can also hide rows. Let's hide row 7. Notice you can tell a row is hidden because the row number no longer shows. Same thing with the column headings, they no longer show. To view hidden columns, select the columns where you want to show them. Right click and choose unhide. And we can select everything there and choose unhide to see all of our columns again. Go to our print preview. And notice now it's going to print all of our data. Go home. And let's unhide row 7. And we see all of our information again. Many times we want to make sure we conserve as much paper as possible. And sometimes to do that we need to scale our worksheet. Let's increase the size of column H to be about 15. Okay, and let's increase the size of column A to also be about 15. When we make that change, those changes, we now see that our information is going to print across 2 pages. I get that little bar right there, that little dotted line right there. And when I print preview, I see that it's going to print across 2 pages. First off, I would need to go to my page layout tab, and if it's wider than it is tall, it's a good idea to change the orientation to landscape. Also, in the scale to fit group, you need to tell it to scale to print on 1 page by 1 page. And most times we will do this to save paper. Also, to help me grade things in here, I will often want you to print the grid lines and the headings. And if not the headings, if not the grid lines, then I usually always want the headings. Choose these options and then print preview. And notice what would have printed on 2 pages is now going to print on 1 page because we told it to scale to fit 1 page. And then also our headings are printing. Now since we have the fit sheet on 1 page, since we told it to, notice down here it says fit sheet on 1 page. So on page layout, we can change and tell it to print on 1 page right here. Or we could also change it in the print preview in this option right here. If we change this back to portrait orientation, since that's selected, it's still going to print on 1 page, only it's going to scale it smaller so the fonts will be smaller and all the information will be printed smaller. We can change also the orientations in this view right here. Notice that since we set print area, row 9 where we had our link is not printing. It's not going to print. Because if we go back to the Home tab, remember that is not in our print area. Let's save this again. Click the Save button. Let's go back over to sheet 2 because I want to show you one more thing about Paste Special. We're going to revisit Paste Special. In Paste Special, I've got this information. I go to Paste Special. I can choose if I don't have, well first let me do copy and put it over here. And then I'm going to click here and I'm going to choose Paste Special. If I choose the Paste Special from that drop down menu, I get this box with all of the options available. So I can choose to copy only the values. Right now it's formatted as currency. And it has some fill and color formatting to it. If I choose only the values, it will only paste numbers. And I can also choose transpose at the same time. So I can choose a couple of these options at once. And if I had blank cells in here, which I don't, but if I had some blank cells, I could tell it to skip blanks and copy it all together without any blanks. So I have now chosen to paste only values and to transpose the information. Click OK and see what this looks like. So I have taken this range, copied it, pasted only the values so none of the formatting was pasted, and I also transposed it so instead of going across it's now going down. So again, that is the Paste Special dialog box. And then also I can do some of that pasting, that Paste Special commands, I can choose right here in this group. Alright. And that is all of the lesson that I have for Excel lessons 4 through 6.